Well, I would say good afternoon, but that would be a vast understatement. It's a great afternoon. And we want to welcome each of you to the ribbon cutting of the Scholar House of Paducah. This project has been a long time coming. It's taken a lot of hard work and by a lot of people to bring us to where we're at this afternoon. But as we're gathered together and the sun is shining bright overhead, the sun is shining much brighter in the lives of the residents of the Scholar House here at Paducah because of what's taking place here and the great work that will be going on at this facility and in the educational institutions that's represented here today. So I'm Gary Watkins with Walbuck Development Company, and again I want to welcome each one here. Every one of us, if we'll think back in our lives, somewhere we received help that we couldn't get from ourselves. Everybody, it doesn't matter how successful you've been in life, somewhere somebody had to give you a hand. And this project today represents an opportunity for those that need a helping hand, those individuals that have great potential, and I believe everyone is born with great potential. But in order for that potential to bloom forth, it has to cross paths with opportunity. And this project today, for 48 residents who will have the advantage of an on-site child care facility, life-enhancing programs, educational resources, will have the opportunity to take their lives that may otherwise be relegated to a life of subsistence living or maybe even public assistance, and be able to empower themselves by having a hand up to become all that they have the potential to become in life. And in our country today, there's no greater need than for each person to become empowered to be all that they could be. So on behalf of ourselves and our many partners, this project doesn't come together without having many, many partners. Everybody putting their part in, everybody working together. When everybody gets on the same page and everybody gets to pulling in the same direction, there's no limit to what a group of people can accomplish when everyone's pulling in the same direction. So I want to thank all that's gathered here today to commemorate this and to thank each one and give opportunity for many of those to speak today. Our partner in this and the leading driver in seeing this come through has been Paducah Housing Services Incorporated. Their president is Cal Ross. Cal was, he had an attitude that this was going to come to pass regardless of the obstacles or regardless of how long that it took. And this city, I know, is appreciative of the resource that they have available, and their biggest thanks goes to Cal Ross and the efforts that he has put forth. So we'll ask Cal to come forward and speak.
Thank you, Gary. I am humbled and I'm so happy to be here. I was going to say on line number 2 of my little presentation that I wrote that I echo everything that he says, but I believe he read my presentation. And so really I want to thank all of our partners that have done a wonderful job. There's just so many people out here as I look through the crowd, familiar faces that have had a big hand in putting the Scholars House program together. I always like to compliment Gary and the Walbuck Corporation because without Walbuck, we would have never been able to pull this off without their help. Yes, I had a lot of support from Mayor Paxton, the City of Paducah, the college, and many, many others that have actually come together to put together the Scholar House program. It has been a huge success. But I want to recognize at least 2 people that are in the crowd that have had the dubious task of renting these apartments. And it hasn't been easy, okay? But before I do that, I'd like to recognize all of our partners and a few of them I see in here are on the Education Committee. Could you all stand up and just identify yourselves, because I'll tell you a little bit about them. Jackie, you can stand up. Representing Mid-Continent, Jackie Imoff. And Doc, I see you sitting over there too. Raise your hand so they can see who you are. All of these people have had the task of working with our on-site management to screen the applicants moving in here to make sure that the fundamental principle of getting an education was their main priority, which is the purpose of the Scholar House. So we're very lucky. Debbie Toons, are you here? Raise your hand. There's Debbie back. Come up here, Debbie. Yeah. And Allison. You might as well come, Allison. I was going to call you next. I wish I had a Duke of Paducah to give both of you. But these two ladies are responsible for screening and moving these families in. Debbie Toons is our on-site director who's been handling the actual application process with Allison's help in a company called Homeland. And we've been very appreciative of what you've done for us, Allison. Debbie, what can I say? You are a hero in my book. Yeah. We may not give you a raise, but we are so happy that you have done a marvelous job in renting up this development from about mid-June to about now. So I'm very happy for the 48 families, and I want to thank you personally. Thank you.
Thank you.
Allison, thank you. So, like I say, I'm just honored. Yes, you are. All of our partners are the real heroes, and I'd like to just take a few minutes and just thank all of our partners. And what I'd like to do, if you might, Gary, is move down the list and introduce Brenda Weaver with the Kentucky Housing Corporation. I think she was next on our list. Brenda? This is Brenda Weaver, Kentucky Housing Corporation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you so much. On behalf of Kentucky Housing Corporation staff and board of directors, it is certainly my pleasure to be here today for the celebration of the ribbon cutting for the Scholar House of Paducah. This facility represents the 7th Scholar House in the state. Of the other 6, 3 are located in Louisville, and the others are in Bowling Green, Owensboro, and the one-parent Scholar House program in Lexington, which has served as the model for the Scholar House program. 2 others are, one currently underway in Louisville, and we anticipate that before long we'll have one also in Pikeville. At Kentucky Housing, this is one of our favorite programs. We administer a lot of programs and do a lot of different kinds of projects, but I'll be honest with you, the Scholar House program is something that's very near and dear to our hearts because we really like the idea that there is a program where we can invest funds to really help single parents complete their education and give both them and their children more opportunities for both personal and financial success. The parents in this program have to meet a lot of criteria. They have to maintain a grade point average minimum while they're full-time students, and they also have to meet other requirements, including self-sufficiency, and they also have to meet certain income limits. Research has shown that children of parents with higher education are also more likely to be successful, and the ultimate goal of all of our programs at Kentucky Housing is to not only provide a roof over someone's head, but to really create longer-term, better opportunities for the families that we serve. The Scholar House program is a perfect example of how we can combine housing and other services to help individuals reach that self-sufficiency. As part of the application process, individuals must go through an interview process, and as was already mentioned, they have to demonstrate a willingness to become self-sufficient by being a part of this program. KHC is proud to have allocated $936,000 in low-income housing tax credits for the Scholar House of Paducah, and the great news is that was leveraged into a total of $6.8 million, money put to a very good use. We certainly could not do what we do, and this project would not have been possible if only our investment had been here. It takes a lot of additional partners, and we certainly appreciate the support of all of our partners in this project. Without these people, this project would not have happened. Ohio Capital Corporation for Housing, the Federal Home Loan Bank of Cincinnati, Paducah Housing Services, Inc., West Kentucky Community and Technical College, Walbuck Development Company, Inc., and the City of Paducah for recognizing the importance that higher education plays not only in the life of a parent, but also in the life of their children. Thanks again to everyone who has been a part of this project and has provided your support here for the Scholar House program. Thank you.
Thank you, Brenda. Kentucky Housing Corporation, as she said, they not only do they want to provide housing, but they want to empower people to better their lives, and the Scholar House program is a big part of that. One of our partners in the financing of this project is the Federal Home Loan Bank of Cincinnati, and they provided a grant for $479,000 to this project. I believe 479 is the amount, yes. And we're pleased to have with us today Mr. Todd Berry, Assistant Vice President of Marketing from the Federal Home Loan Bank of Cincinnati.
Thank you, Gary, very much. The first thing I'd like to do is thank you for not only this project and the projects like this that Walbuck has had a part in all over the state of Kentucky, but for your participation in our advisory council providing assistance and guidance to the bank. It's been very invaluable, so thank you very much. Also want to thank the folks at Wilson and Muir Bank who partnered with us to provide this funding, and want to say congratulations to the folks that will be using this fabulous facility. I also want to say, Gary, I don't know if you made the weather arrangements today for this outdoor meeting, but whoever the weather was up to, thank you for that too. Again, thank you for inviting us to participate in this program today, and congratulations on the completion of a beautiful facility. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Todd. The Federal Home Loan Bank of Cincinnati has invested millions and millions of dollars into the state of Kentucky for utilization to provide affordable housing. Since 1980,
What I've got since
1990, yeah, I think it was part of the FIREA, I think came on in 1989, and they have provided 10% of their profits each and every year since that time to go into affordable housing for projects like this, for projects like Recovery Kentucky, and many, many other projects that assisted low-income households, the elderly, and the disabled. So they have been a valuable resource in the development of affordable housing in the state of Kentucky, and we appreciate them so very much. Brenda spoke about the tax credits that Kentucky Housing Corporation allocates, and from that we were able to raise equity in excess of $6 million that went into this project. And another of our partners comes just a little bit north of the river, and that is Ohio Capital Corporation. And Ohio Capital Corporation raised the equity in exchange for those credits and invested those into this community. And before they do that, they look at the community, they look at the partners, and it's not every organization and everything that comes across their desk that they're willing to participate in. So we appreciate them, and obviously they had the big piece of the financing in this, and without which this would not be possible. And we're fortunate to have with us today Jack Kukura, the Chief of Acquisitions of Ohio Capital Corporation for Housing. Jack?
Good afternoon, everyone. You know, I'm not quite sure how this always happens, but the whole front row is empty, and there's a lot of people out there standing in the audience. So anybody that's standing, I will not be offended if you want to go ahead and take a seat in the front row while I go ahead and talk up here. So, but as Gary said, I'm Jack Kukura. I'm the Chief of Acquisitions at Ohio Capital Corporation. And a lot of you may not know much about Ohio Capital, but we're an independent, nonprofit organization that was created over 23 years ago. And we've, over the last 23 years, we've raised over $2.5 billion of private investment to invest in projects just like this. And a lot of you may be saying is, why is Ohio Capital, an Ohio corporation, coming down and investing here in projects in Kentucky, especially so far way over here in Paducah, down here in Paducah, Kentucky. But years ago, somebody, and it's interesting me following Todd, but years ago, somebody that worked at the Federal Home Loan Bank, Carol Peterson, who ran that program for a long time before she passed away, said to our president, Hal Keller at Ohio Capital, there's this great guy down in Kentucky that you guys have to come down and meet. He's doing fantastic projects, and we came down and met him, and it was Gary Watkins. And I believe we did our first project in 2005. And with projects like this, you can see why we continue to invest with Gary Watkins down here in Kentucky. So Ohio Capital, we're very proud to be part of this Scholar House project here. It's a program that really works, and that it's really a very interesting program that Kentucky has. And as far as I'm aware, Kentucky is the only state that has a program like this. Of that $2.5 billion that we invest, I wish I could say it was all Ohio Capital's money, but unfortunately it's not $1 of it is our money. It's actually other people's money. And in this case, it was Nationwide Insurance. Since 2009, Nationwide Insurance has invested over $150 million with Ohio Capital to invest in projects just like this. I don't want to go too much into that because I don't want to take all of Steve's comments coming up after me. So, but enough about the financing. I just want to say a little bit about the residents, which is really why this project was created, was for the residents. And it's pretty amazing when you stand here and look at this great project, and then you look right down the street and you can see the buildings down the street of the university that the people have the opportunity to attend to. And the residents, they have the ability to live in a Scholar House unit and to go ahead and further their education to actually better themselves financially in life is just an incredible opportunity for somebody to be a part of. So Ohio Capital, on behalf of myself and everybody at Ohio Capital and our board, I'm very pleased to thank Gary Watkins and his team at WABUC, and also the Paducah Housing Services for Ohio Capital to have the opportunity to be involved in this project. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. Ohio Capital is a conduit for the financing. They raise the money and then they pass it through to the project. But in order for them to raise that money, they ultimately have to have an investor. And when we were about ready to get this project underway, there was a little bit of a financial crisis in the country, and financial resources looked like they were hard to come by as far as finding people who were interested in investing in low-income housing tax credits. But we were fortunate that there was an organization called Nationwide Insurance. And you all have heard the slogan, Nationwide is on your side. Well, had they not been on our side in this situation, this project very well may not have been here today. So we appreciate their investment, and we have with us an agent for Nationwide Insurance, I believe, Steve Vassett is here today.
Thank you, Gary. Nationwide gave me a call. I'm the local agent here in town. They asked me to come and speak to you. We are so proud of this facility. I mean, don't it look great? That's beautiful. I'm born and raised here in Paducah, been here all my life, been in the insurance business for 33 years. And just to give you a little background on Nationwide's commitment to these type projects, they've been doing this since 2000. And Nationwide has partnered interest in over 350 properties across the United States like this. They have over 30,000 units throughout the country, and they love these type of partnerships. They love to invest in the community and to kind of give back. So we're so proud to be here, and the facility looks great. And thank you very much.
Wow, I get to introduce the next speaker, who's very dear to my heart, dear to the community, dear to the college. As president of Paducah Housing Services and executive director of the Housing Authority of Paducah, I would like to say that without people like our next speaker and my own staff, it has allowed me time to work with Gary to put this deal together, and he was right. You know, sometimes you get a bull in a china shop and they walk around, break a lot of glass. Well, that was kind of me, because I was so committed to this thing. And I was so happy when Gary said that he would partner with us to bring us to Paducah. But one of the people that allowed me to move forward with this whole application and process is Japan Askew Robinson. She is chairman of PHS, and I'd like to introduce her.
Good afternoon. As Cal stated, I'm Chapam Askew Robinson. I'm the chair of Paducah Housing Services, as well as I have the pleasure of being the director of cultural diversity at West Kentucky Community and Technical College, just down the street. I'm so pleased to be here today to be a part of this endeavor. And then I would like to share with you a personal experience. Not many people know your past that you know as you're working with them. So I thought that I would share with you how I'm so personally connected with such a project. There were 2 times in my life wherein if I'd had the opportunity to have been a part of or to use the services of such an opportunity as the Scholar House, it would have made my life so much easier and my access to being able to reach my educational goals in higher education much better. The first time I was a single parent, had just had a brand new baby daughter, and I was having to complete my bachelor's degree. Then the second time, after earning a bachelor's degree, my ex-husband and I were downsized out of the Army. He was in the Army, but my job was tied to his. So both of us had to leave those jobs. Well, neither one of us had worked in the capacity of our bachelor's degrees for almost 10 years. So it was like as if we had lost those degrees. We had to come back and go back to school, and we had to try and find housing that was affordable for 2 adults and 3 children. Needless to say, it was nothing like the Scholar House. We started going in, and at one point in time, I thought that I could live in, and it's nothing like our public housing here, Cal. But actually, there was some public housing. Oh, no, I mean where we were. And we were getting ready to clean the apartment, and a girlfriend of mine said, "Duck," and it was, oh my goodness, there was this bug just flying around. You don't have any of that here. In addition to that, we had to find childcare. How wonderful it is for these students to be able to have childcare on site at a facility where they know that their children are well taken care of, and they can come home at any time because of the proximity of this location and check on their children. So I would just like to say to all of the partners and everyone here representing not only myself, but also those students within our area who are going to have the benefit of this facility. I'd just like to say thank you so very much for being so insightful and bringing such a comprehensive asset to them to be able to better their lives and their children's lives as well. Thank you.
Our next speaker, I have the dubious honor of introducing the next mayor of Paducah. I won't tell you what her name is, but it probably sounds like Gail something or other. But I talked to Glenn Denton, our attorney over there, and I asked him if I could cast his one vote to elect the mayor, and he gave me that vote. So, Gail Kaler, I am casting that vote for the next mayor of Paducah. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. I'm proud to be here today to represent the city of Paducah, and we were proud to be a partner in this endeavor. We saw the need here when it was presented to us. We all agreed as city commissioners and as mayor that it was important to our community to make this happen. So we put the $116,400 toward this project to be one of those partners. And I would like to thank a couple of people here today that had a great part in making this happen. And that's Danny Fugate. Danny, come on up. He's shy, so we'll have to get him up here. Danny's with our Section 8 housing with the city, and he had a great part in making this plan happen and coordinating with the City of Paducah and all the other partners. I want to thank Danny. Thank you. Steve Irwin. Steve, do you want to come up? Come on. Steve also had a big part with the City of Paducah, and I just want to thank him. We have great people that work with us here in the City of Paducah and make good things happen. And I just want to thank all of the different partners here too that had a part in this. It's going to be so great for these young people to have the opportunity to mentally stay with their studies, and they don't have to worry about their children or where they live, and that's so important. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's really an honor to introduce some of these people. I don't know how they find the time to work with organizations because there's so many people tugging at them, but our next guest is probably more well known for the number 5 college or best 5 colleges in the United States for a junior college. Dr. Vesey has done a wonderful job for us. It's been a pleasure working with her. Without her assistance in finding this beautiful piece of ground up here, Scholar House wouldn't have been here. But I can tell you, she is a champion of Scholar House and been a champion of the programs that we brought to Paducah. It's a great honor to introduce Dr. Barbara Vesey.
Well, first, my sincere thank you, as others have said, for making this possible for us to have this ribbon cutting and this tour and grand opening today. It did not happen quickly. We did study it a great deal, and I want to say that Cal stuck with it every step of the way and intended for this to happen. But we did go to other places, other scholar houses, and I went to Lexington, went to others, but I knew that it was what we needed to do for Paducah, for our colleges, for our students. I went into the Scholar House in Lexington and I talked to a group of young women, and they said, how is this working? What's the advantage of being here? They started telling me about the support that they received from one another, how they took care of each other's children if one of them had a test or they had to go out to study at the library, whatever was happening. There was a group of other mothers who were there to help watch the kids. They had study groups with each other. It worked. It worked. So I came back and we were committed. Land is like gold to this college, let me tell you, because I could fill it up now. If I had the money, we had the money, we don't want it to go easily. So convincing Paducah Junior College to be a partner was not difficult at all. Cal and I presented the program, others presented the program with us, and it was a sell. We were in. We are a strong partner along with Murray State, Mid-Continent, but we know that this is going to be of huge benefit to our students. Currently, 45 of our West Kentucky students live in the Scholar House. So the other day, I'm having lunch at the Emerging Technology Center Cafe. And I am served lunch behind the counter by this lovely young woman, Sarah Vasquez. Sarah, please stand up and let them see you. And I said, "Oh, tell me about yourself. What are you majoring in?" And Sarah said, "I have a son. His name is Christian. I live in the Scholar House. I work here. That's a part of the program. And I'm going to be a nurse. I'm majoring in nursing." It gave me cold chills then. It gives me cold chills today. This is what it's all about. And thank you to our partners. And we are behind you, and you represent the Scholar House to us. You're going to be on the stage telling your story. Thank you.
Gary and I are fighting as to who's going to do the introduction. He knows I'm a bigger ham than he is. He's more businesslike. I'm more foolish, I guess, at times. But it's really glad to be here again. Our next partner is an interesting story with regard to the daycare. Let me tell you, it wasn't easy to get a partner to step up to the plate and help us establish a #1 daycare in Paducah. And when I first approached the board for Paducah Day Nursery, they kind of hemmed and hawed, and Ron DeFacenti, is he around here? Ron, stick your hand up. There he is, over in the far right. We began to talk to the Paducah Daycare and their board, and they also joined right at the last second when we had to have a partner. So it's a great pleasure to introduce Chase Venerable. I've not really met Chase, so Chase, you're going to have to identify yourself. Come on up here. He's the new chairman. I haven't met the new chairman. It's a pleasure meeting you, sir. I'm sorry under these circumstances, but we are so proud of Paducah Day Nursery and what they have brought to this experience, a good money supply, which is important, and we have a brand new facility. It's going to blow your mind when you get a chance to tour it. Thank you, Chase.
Absolutely. Thank you, Cal. And like Cal said, there was a lot of groundwork and foundation that was laid before I joined with the Paducah Day Nursery Board. So there's a lot of people that put a lot of hard work into the finished product and where we are today. But I'd like to say that we're honored to be a part of this initiative to help residents and family members with young children pursue an education. The opportunity to provide child care for the Scholar House was presented to the Paducah Day Nursery Board at one of the major milestones in its history. This past year marks the 100th year of existence of the Paducah Day Nursery Board, and the Paducah Day Nursery, and we are fortunate to celebrate that milestone by expanding our operations here at the Scholar House and increasing the number of families and children we are able to serve. A little bit about the mission of the Paducah Day Nursery is that it serves its community through its mission of providing high-quality, affordable child care to parents of small children ages 6 weeks to 12 years of age who because of limited financial resources, the need to work outside of their homes, or those seeking to further or complete their education, need reasonably priced child care. We are very grateful for the individuals and teams that have helped make this day possible. Due to the collaboration between Cal Ross with Paducah Housing Services, Gary Watkins, Dana Powell, Tracy Glasscock, and the entire team at Walbuck, along with Mr. Ronnie, the staff at Paducah Day Nursery, the Paducah Day Nursery Board, and many others here, we have been able to successfully transition into our second daycare facility in Paducah. The entire process has created a win-win situation for all those parties involved, which has allowed Paducah Day Nursery to focus and allocate resources to early childhood education, safety, and the children's development needs. Thank you for all your mutual supportiveness, collaboration, and effort as we strive to continue assisting parents and serving the children of this community by providing high-quality, affordable child care.
Thank you, Chase. Child care is so important, and we were talking on the way down. We just had a child care facility in Litchfield that announced yesterday it was closing. And child care is a tough business. So we certainly appreciate our partnership that we have with them and how valuable they are to the success of this program. As Dr. Veazey, as she was speaking, been a lot of good people, has done a lot of good things to see this come to pass, but the real heroes here are the parents that will live here and get their education and develop their families and move out and allow others to come in that they may be able to do the same thing. And I know all 48 of the residents here, they all have a story. And but we've asked Tammy Nelson, one of the tenants, to come up and say a few words.
Wow, there's so much good things to say about this place, and I have to follow all these people. But first of all, it was not an easy decision for me to go back to school to begin with, but a program like this definitely makes it possible to stay in school, and I'm so grateful for that. A friend actually told me about this program, and I came down here and applied, and Debbie, she's a magnificent woman. She worked with me, bent over backwards. As long as I did my part, she was right there with me every step of the way. When I first enrolled in school, I ran into a lot of challenges as far as gas back and forth from Marshall County, added childcare, finances, extra cost, and quickly after I enrolled, I was like, wow, I thought this was the only option I had for my future, but it looks like I'm going to have to drop out as soon as I've gotten in. The more I heard about this program, the more I was impressed. Once I was accepted, the very first perk I got to experience was the 7-week entrepreneur course that Miss Phyllis Macklin taught, and it kind of set some ideas in my head, gave me some knowledge and some resources on working with a little business venture that I had to be able to have more flexible hours and to provide a decent income for me and my children as I was getting my degree. This class was provided to me completely free of cost. I was very impressed with the way it was put together. It was no second-rate class at all. Of course, just about everything's, well, not everything, but a lot of things have already been mentioned. My children and I are looking forward to taking part in the summer program at the daycare so that I can continue my classes through the summer. We have a beautiful, safe, very, very supportive community, which is just so awesome. Being a single mother for most of my life, I've had very little support. Especially in decisions like this. So, I mean, really, it just kind of speaks, I feel so blessed. And I just want to thank everybody that has had anything to do with this project. It's wonderful, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
These residents, they'll make great sacrifices to be able to improve the lives of their family. And the Scholar House program is here to help make that sacrifice a little bit easier. Danny Fugate, raise your hand out there again, Danny. Paducah, you have got a great Section 8 administrator. We have worked with several. Give him a hand. He deserves it. Danny, he's pretty soft-spoken, but he carries a big stick as far as getting the work done, and we've worked with several housing agencies, and Danny has just absolutely been super. Our director, Debbie Toon, had just done such a fantastic job of starting from scratch and renting this up, and we appreciate her and the work that she has done so much. Dr. Veazey, who's president and CEO of West Kentucky Community and Technical College, we had several meetings. This property that she spoke of belonged to the foundation of the junior college, and they got a layered organization there, and a lot of people have to say yes to get that done. So we have several meetings, and we went through all that and explained all that, and we really wasn't sure whether or not we were going to be able to sell the concept or not, but we were sitting around the table there, the boardroom, and Dr. Veazey said, I want to see this happen. And I never was real good in English and grammar, but there was no question mark at the end of that sentence. There was an exclamation point. And when she said that, and up to that time we weren't real sure, but when she said that, Cal, I knew that this project was going to happen, and we couldn't thank them enough for the resource that they brought to the table, and for all the support them and the other local institutions of higher education have brought too. I want to thank Anthony Elmore, who's vice president of the construction company over there, and for all the work that he did and taking care of all the technical issues related to the construction. A great job he did. Tracy Glasscock from Walbuck, who put all the financing application together and was the main driver, and and getting all that kind of work done, and we appreciate her. Dana Powell, who put this gathering together, and it's got such a great turnout. I mean, look at all the people here. This is just great, and she did a good job with that. Allison Powell, a little bit of relation to both Dana and myself, but with the Homeland Incorporated, working together with Paducah Housing Services as a management agent for the project. Wilson and Muir Bank, as Dr. Cure mentioned, was participating in the financing and in the Federal Home Loan Bank application. I have a couple other people from Ohio Capital here. Brian Langmeyer is here with us, and Rhonda Snyder. Raise your hand there, Brian, and Rhonda over here with Ohio Capital, who do great work for their organization. The board of the Scholar House, the committees that work together to set the procedures and make the selection of the tenants. I want to recognize all of them. Some of them Cal's already mentioned. Dr. Steve Freeman, if you raise your hand, Danny Fugate, Jacqueline Imhoff, is she here? She's over there. There, okay. Phyllis Macklin, I see her. Phyllis over there. Gina Winchester, back there. Tracy Glasscock, back over here. Ronnie Vincenti. Allison Powell. Peggy Tippin. Peggy. And then, of course, Debbie, our director, are all part of that committee. And everyone here, from the city to, it's taken each one to make this project come to completion. Thought about, Danny, the Section 8 program. A lot of times you hear the word Section 8, and, for some people it may have a bad connotation. But originally it was intended to be a temporary housing support for those until people could move on up. And that's exactly what this program is doing. It's taking those people who stand in need, giving them a shelter and some assistance for a period of time, letting them empower themselves, let them move out, let more people come in, that they can do the same thing that those others did, that those already did. And that originally was what the Section 8 program was intended for, and that's exactly what it's doing here. They had a choice whether or not to assign the Section 8 to this project through their programs, and they elected to do that, and that makes all this possible. And this is just a great day. People's lives will be changed forever because of this project. In the Declaration of Independence, as it starts out, it says to the effect that we believe these truths to be self-evident, that all men were created equal, and that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, among those being the right of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And because of this resource that is here today, that pursuit just became a reality for these 48 families that are here today, and for many, many others down through the years that will follow in their footsteps. So we want to thank each one. I know we've no doubt always worry, I'm sure, that we've left someone out that we need to mention. I don't see Tracy waving at me with both arms like I definitely missed somebody, so I guess we did a little better than usual. But we want to thank each one that's come and each one that's had a part in seeing this resource become a reality. And thank you very much for coming. We have refreshments, and we also have some tours of the facility. Be sure to see it. Be sure you look at the daycare facility. And everybody, thanks again for coming, and have a great day.
Thank you, Gary. Dana, if you want.